your host, Greg Cardone.
Welcome and welcome back to the hot seat. I'm your host, Greg Cardone, and today we have another exciting guest all the way from San Antonio, Kalen Austin. Kalen, how are you doing? And thanks for being on the show.
Man, Greg, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's hot, and I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
Oh, you know what? It's great to have you, and I want to give a shout out to mi amigo JJ Fernandez the third for hooking us up here, and he's been great. I tell you, everybody from San Antonio have been great guests on the show, and I'm real happy at the success that everybody out there is having and the way the community supports all of you. So this is fantastic. I love it. I really enjoy having people on who are interested in promoting their projects themselves and others. So, Kalen, tell me, how did you get involved in the film business?
Well, my whole life I was always an athlete. I excelled in baseball, football, boxing, wrestling. As I got older, and honestly, it's something just was just different. Me doing sports all the time, I loved it. But I remember I had a friend at the time, and he was doing modeling, and he was doing it pretty big actually, and he was traveling and all that. And I remember I messaged him, and I was like, "Hey man, by any chance does your modeling agency have an acting coach, or do you go to an acting coach?" He goes, "I go to this guy, shout out to my guy Steve Pena, I love that guy." And he goes to him, and he goes to him every Sunday, and he said check him out. And I checked out the class, and next thing I know, I realized like this is what I want to do. And I didn't stop. I remember I didn't stop going to class. I went 3 years straight, and ever since then, I went to school out there in LA at the New York Film Academy. I had a lot of teachers, a lot of great teachers, and yeah, it's been a journey, and the trials and tribulations along the way, and it's been a great experience. Say it like that. And I'm still training. I'm still doing all of that. But being on set, being on film, it makes me feel like I'm alive. And I feel like I'm off the leash every time I'm on set, and I feel amazing. All through life, we're always being judged about something. We're always being looked at. But when I'm on set, it's like I don't care about any of that. I feel alive. I feel off the leash. I feel like a lion out of the zoo, and I feel great. So when I'm on set, I feel amazing, So yeah.
I think you said it all. Kalen Unchained. It's you know, they talk about when people get into acting, you have to loosen the rope around you. If you've ever heard that before, they have a picture of somebody and there's a rope wrapped around them and they're all uptight and they're not giving themselves, all of themselves to the part they're playing. And they're holding back. And, you know, for you, it's become a passion, and it seems pretty easy for you when you go on set.
Every time I'm on set, I try not to think too much of it. The way I see it is acting is just being a human being, and that's something that my teacher Steve Pena, he's always told me that acting is just being a human being and just living truthfully in imaginary circumstances. That's all acting is.
What inspired you to make this movie, and just give us a little bit of the insight of it.
Really, honestly, I've always wanted to write something like this, something that I was able to relate to. I lost a couple friends that lived this lifestyle before, and so I wanted to give you know a story like this. And the Mexican American community, well, Mexican community in San Antonio, they love these type of films, and I wanted to make something that would make my people proud, and I feel a great film would help put the city on the map, because San Antonio, we've always just been, it's like we're there, but we're not there. And I wanted to give a great piece, a great piece for a film to showcase.
Sitting here and listening to it, and I think the storyline is something that a lot of your audience that you're looking for can relate to it. And they may not be boxers, this is just a circumstance that you're in, but whatever they're in, they can relate to it. It's the psychology, it's more of that psychology behind what is a marathon. A marathon is very long, and you have to kind of pace yourself throughout it. It's it's a marathon, and you're only done in a mile, but it's a 5 mile or a 5 kilometer, however you want to run it. So that is I like that. Listening to how other people came up with these. So you are a boxer.
So I competed for over 10 years. I still train. I still train boxing, wrestling, stuff like that. But competing wise, I don't compete anymore. I plan on compete. I plan to compete hopefully in the next couple of years. So I can stay sharp. But I still train. Yeah, but I don't compete anymore.
Yeah, as you get older, getting
I miss it though.
Well, the adrenaline, you miss that. Okay, I'm
Uh-huh.
ready. I took a little boxing, more martial arts than anything else. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, you get hit. If you're going to do it, you're going to expect to get hit. So that's just the way it is. I got hit quite a few times. Oh, I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. My nose is still here. We're not wearing gloves. These guys are open hand, and getting hit in the palm with somebody's palm in your nose is not a real good feeling.
Yeah,
From
no,
a little bit in your
getting hit by a heavy hitter.
Yeah, nobody wants to get hit. I avoid that. I'm too old to be scrapping and grappling, so I do everything I can to avoid confrontation. But I do have a way out. That's just the Florida way. But tell me about any of the awards that you won in your career here.
So recently, the marathon short film, we won. The film won the best actor award. We won the best cliffhanger and the best supporting actor. So that was really 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 amazing. We won it at the San Antonio Fiesta SATX Film Festival, and it was great. Finally getting that recognition from the hard work. We had a great team involved, and yeah, no, it was a great experience, and all of the hard work that we put in all together as a team, and it was great. The film is just getting started, starting to get momentum, constantly submitting it to other film festivals. I'm actually going to premiere it again at the Pura Vida Awards on August 16th here in town, and so that's pretty amazing. I'm looking forward to that. But hopefully we win more awards on that. And I'm excited. I really am. I have some great people involved in the feature film, and yeah, so we're just getting started. I'm excited.
And that's what you need to do. Enter film festivals and I'm not here to promote my movie. I can only tell people you need to submit to film festivals
Yeah.
outside of your town, because then it's if they like you or they don't like you, supposedly independent judges, and submit, get your budget for it. We won 85 best awards and 115 nominations. So there's a lot of
Man.
festivals that we did.
Uh-huh.
And you need to pick and choose the festivals. Some are a little bit more money, but if you can enter them, you're not going to win. We won
Yeah.
85 out of 115, which is a pretty good ratio. But when people in these other areas start seeing your film, oh, you know what? Maybe that should have won, but I like that. So, you're networking through these film festivals, and you want to do it internationally. We
Yeah.
won almost all of our awards internationally. We won probably 5 or 6, in the U.S.
Mhm.
I submitted to one here in my hometown, Tampa. We weren't even selected.
Yeah, it'd be like that
I don't
sometimes.
know. I don't know what to tell you. When you
Uh-huh.
win in Cairns and Belgium and Singapore and India and Australia and Canada and Hollywood, and you can't win in your backyard. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
it happens.
it happens. And believe me, I didn't lose any sleep over that.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
That's the thing about the acting industry is that I'm so used to getting rejected 99% of the time. So it's like now when I get rejected on a film festival, it's like, I mean, it's whatever. After I send in an audition, I learn to just forget about it. Until if they're interested, they're interested. So being rejected, it's not anything to me anymore. At first, I used to take it to heart, but now it's like, next time, I have great agents, and they send me some really great projects, big projects, and so I've had a couple callbacks on some pretty big shows. So we'll see what happens. So I'm excited with that. Just rejection is
You,
part of the game. Film, you're submitting films, auditions. It's part of the process.
you have to learn how to handle rejection. I handle
Yeah.
rejection unbelievable because I I'm an optimistic, but I have a 50-50 chance anytime I submit to something, more
Mhm.
commercials than films. But you got to figure when you're doing films, that's the project, and it's usually over a long-term project. So entering festivals is expect the worst and hope for the best. And like, well, I
Exactly.
just spent $25 and we didn't win. There's no guarantee that you're going to win. You
Uh-huh.
could spend thousands of dollars, and if the storyline isn't good or there's something about it, you won't win. And that's the key, is be unique with your movie on that.
Yeah.
Who that I may know, or some of your associates know, are in this, give us a shout out. Shout out the cast and some of the crew, director. Let's
Uh-huh.
promote that, man. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to JJ. JJ's a great guy. JJ Fernandez. He's always helping me out. And honestly, I see him as my big brother. He's helping me out on the feature film. He's involved. He's actually going to be in the feature role. I mean, in the feature film. And honestly, shout out to Keanu Cordero, the DP. Great guy. I worked on a couple of his projects. I did Smile Now, Cry Later, one of the leads, and great film. It's about mental illness in men, because it does happen, and great piece. Check it out on YouTube. Smile Now, Cry Later. Won a lot of awards. Shout out to everybody that was involved. Shout out to Steven. He won the best supporting actor. It was a great piece, and great guy. He came all the way from LA to do that project. So that's my guy. We all worked hard as a team. Shout out to everybody. It was an experience, and I love everybody that was a part of that project. Without them, the project wouldn't even been made. So now we're just focused on the feature film and just take it step by step. Because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm aiming to shoot it hopefully early by next year. So we'll see what happens. I got a solid team involved, and we're going from there.
All about planning.
Exactly.
Work as the team. When you talked about the SATX, I see JJ and Marcus and Kiki. What a great group all of you are. I had a real nice time. It was only saw them shoot the American Coyote for a little bit. I was in and out. But what a great bunch of people. But I see, all the Facebook posts at these, and everybody's dressed up. It's like, it's a huge gala. And, the people that put that on, that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Who actually puts that festival on? Is it one person, a company? I'm just kind of curious on how the festival comes about.
Which one? The one
SATX?
SATX. So it's actually ran by Rick Guayar. I think that's how you pronounce it. He has a solid team. Brandy, Cynthia, all of them. But he's the guy that actually runs the whole thing. And I saw him last week. We're having dinner. Talking about future plans, future filmmaking. Actually, I was on set with him this past week. I don't know how I forgot about that. And we were working on some reality TV show for up and coming filmmakers, and I was a part of that. So he has a really interesting vision for this project. Can't say too much just because of NDA stuff, but
not right.
He's a great visionary. And a great guy, and he has big plans with that film festival. It was the first time that he had the film festival, and I'm honored to be a part of that first year experience, and we're still talking future plans, and great guy, Rick, definitely a great guy.
Pat, and that's what you need in your area, people who have, they're visionaries.
Mm-hmm.
They see what's going on. They see how the community and all that support is behind, any of these projects. And because otherwise, if you start going alone and you oh no, I can't help, I'm too busy, so you run it alone.
Yeah.
You don't want to, but you're wearing all the hats. You're the producer, you're the director, you're the writer, you're the actor, and you have to have your team at least support, at that point. Well, we have a trailer from the marathon. So this is something we do in the middle of the interview, is we'll take a look at it, have our audience watch it, and when we come back, maybe you can do a little bit of discussing with it. All right. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Fuck out of here, homie. Respect our family and let us mourn in peace.
Yeah. Motherfucker, I'll rearrange your whole fucking jaw.
Man, think about mine, fool. God damn.
Yeah, just got some stuff I gotta do,
Yeah, I understand.
You get caught one more time, you're fucked, dog. Whatever. You know they're trying to lock your ass up.
And we're back after watching that neat little trailer of the marathon. Kalen Austin. Kalen, tell us a little bit about that trailer. What went on behind that?
So it was a long process, I tell you that. In that short amount of time, I'm sorry, as long as the film is, it took about 2 years, just to finish the whole thing, and just technical difficulties, actors calling off. It was something, it was another, and it was a lot. It was a lot, honestly. I really saw what the crew side. I really saw the crew side of why they're always in a cranky mood. Like, casting directors, like it's always something with actors. And I witnessed that firsthand, and it was insane. It was interesting finally seeing it from a filmmaker's point of view, perspective, and like, I don't know. It was always something. So I finally saw why people in the industry, they're always in a cranky mood. But the film itself, it was an interesting experience. I got to film it in my hometown, San Antonio, and I got to have some friends on there that came from LA and did the project with me. And it was just great people involved, and it was a friendly environment. Never once was there a bad day. It was a hot day. The day that when I'm in the gym with the suit, I remember that day was hot. One of the hottest days that I've ever experienced. And it was just overall, it was a great time, and I'm grateful that I had those people around me.
Yeah, well, when you were the writer, and I don't know if you have doing any direction, and you're acting. Yeah, you're definitely you're definitely way more involved than just being a cast member where they just show up, do what they do, and that's it. Where your involvement is 100%.
Yeah.
Not just, I'm going to read a few lines and go. You mentioned about call-offs. That will drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're depending on these people. What are their excuses for not fulfilling their commitment?
I don't know. It could be anything. Yeah, I remember the scene. Actually, I took out a scene. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And it really showed of why the character, or how he is as a person, and it just didn't work. And I remember that day we were gonna shoot that scene. And I remember we're prepping for that scene, or we're already about to leave to set. And I text this person. I was like, "Hey, hope to see you on set, or can't wait to see you on set. See you in a bit." And this person replies like, they bailed last minute, and it's like, damn, that sucks. Because I had everything prepped. I had to do all that, and then long story short, I had to reshoot that scene. It was a year later. So a whole year later. Can you imagine? I had to shave my head again, back to short. And I was like, oh man, I had to shave my hair again. And the thing is, it was a cool haircut. I tell you that, it's a tough haircut. It's called the Southside fade. It's tough. But it's like, no, I want my hair. So the fact that I had to shave again a whole year later after going it out, and for that same scene, just to not to use it in the film. So it's like, it was a learning experience. Yeah, that was really the worst part, having to shave my head again. That sucked, but it is what it is. Great time, great experience, and yeah, it happens. People call off. If it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not an actor, it's a crew member. If it's not a crew member, it's an actor. If it's not either that, it's technical difficulty, it's weather, so it's like, you just got to adapt and go, so.
There are so many unforeseen reasons, and that happened with us. And when we were doing our first shoot, 9 o'clock at night, one of our key actresses, very, very, very important role. One of the first kind of scenes of the movie calls up and said, "I don't think this role is for me." It's like, we have a 7 a.m. call time, and you're telling us at 9 p.m. Friday night that all of a sudden, after all of these months of preparation, that this scene is not for you. Well, there's blood. I said, you're the only one wearing the blood. There's no blood, You're not getting. It just was, and they don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And you get remembered that way.
Yeah, I know.
Because, and the same thing with you, you'll have it and this, oh yeah, and then they submit to your next casting and you're like, pew.
Yeah, I know. And I'll tell you a funny story. It was actually when I was in the process of casting for the marathon. And I remember, so this scene was for a simulated sex scene. And obviously, would have her clothes on. There's gonna be plenty of people there. It was a comfortable scene, and I had mentioned that. I remember I was on Actors Access, and I was like, I put down the whole breakdown of what it was. There's gonna be mouthwash on set, yada yada, to be comfortable, all that stuff. And I remember there was this girl who had put down in the notes that she says, she has submitted. And then whenever I had sent her, the audition breakdown, she puts in the subject line, she says, all she says was, I'm not comfortable with the sex scene, or something like that. And it was something like basic. I can see why casting, like I said, going back to what I said, I can see why casting people, they're so frustrated at actors, like can't follow simple instructions, like gave her a whole breakdown just for her to say, I'm not comfortable with sex scene. But the thing is that I feel, that's the scene that I had to cut out just because it wasn't working. It didn't feel right as much as I wanted in there. It just didn't feel right. I felt like that's what scared off a lot of actresses because they saw a sex scene. It wasn't that good of a pay, so which I understand, but they saw a sex scene but they didn't see simulated sex scene. It was going to be simulated, and so it was like, and that's what scared a lot away. And so that was the main scene that, like, I really wanted to get in there. It didn't work. It was unfortunate, but it is what it is, and ended up with a great film anyways, regardless. My team made it work. My editor made it work. So, I mean, it happens, just a learning experience to, I don't know.
It's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. So that was the toughest part. Yeah.
Not every scene when you start shooting it, it just may not work.
Yeah.
And, everybody, experiences that when it's just not working, or it just doesn't feel right, or you can't be doing it 10 times. It's all right. Let's move on. And you've got your shot sheet and rethink and have somebody start rethinking that, or how can we circumnavigate the issue and make it work like that. But yeah, when you're dealing in independent films, people don't have a lot of skin in the game other than the people who are making the film. And I could relate. We had probably 40 something crew. A lot of them were students, and they didn't show up. Our scripty didn't show up. Our continuity didn't show up for the next day or the next shoot. And they just, well, where's so-and-so? Oh, they're going and working on their friend's film. Well, you kind of can't do that, but people do it. Ethically, you shouldn't. If you give somebody your word that you're going to be a part of the film, your name is going to be in the credits.
Mhm.
And look where the movie went. So did you lose out for, not doing your part? And then you find out, oh, this movie is a global movie and it got an award. And I hope the best for your movie. I hope the best for everybody who makes a movie.
Mhm.
I don't care what kind of movie you make. I hope the best for you. I could only share my experiences, not from a bragging standpoint, but more from an educational standpoint. Because when people make movies, it doesn't hurt to ask other people, and it's like, well, it really, you kind of, and if you hurt their feelings, you're the bad guy. Like you say, you suck. You made fun of my movie. No, I didn't make fun of your movie, but 1 + 1 = 2 doesn't equal 3. And you're trying to do something, maybe look at it a little differently, but people take it so they don't take the criticism on their movie, which you have to. And when you're making a movie and your DP or somebody, they make a suggestion, listen to it. Okay, let's shoot it the way I want or the way I envision it. And then let's do it your way. Okay, it works. It doesn't make a difference as long as it works.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody else's idea, that's the best part, because you're having somebody contribute their idea to the betterment of the movie. So yeah, it's a learning experience, but yeah, have people bail on you. That is so bad, especially if you see them again. It's like, dude, what happened? Or dudette, what happened? Oh, well, I just didn't feel like showing up. Well, I wasn't getting paid anyway.
But like, if you agree to do it for free, like, I don't know, that's just me. Like, if you say you're gonna do something, do it. I get it. Money talks, whatever. But if you say if you say you're gonna do something for $50, let's say, on a film, you gotta give it your all. I mean, that's like you agreed you're gonna do it for $50. You agreed to do it for free. So whenever people use that excuse, oh, you're not paying me, like, I get that. I really do. But when you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, I don't know. I mean, like, that's bad. That's going to give you a bad name. That's going to give you a bad name. So, I mean, I've seen it.
Go ahead.
I've seen it firsthand. And I remember back in film school, back in LA, and I never saw how quick someone could get on a blacklist, like, just for being a problem on set, just for, not being good to work with. That's why I'm kind to everybody. Like, you never know, what someone's gonna say about you, and it's like, you just gotta be easy to work with. Like, that's all it is. Just be easy to work with, especially as an actor. You could be the best actor in the world, but if you're hard to work with, like, no one's gonna want to work with you.
No.
So, I mean, that's one thing I learned, just being friends with a lot of filmmakers, and they all say, like, yeah, I don't work with this person. That person is like, damn.
It gets around.
It gets around quick too. It gets around really quick. So
there's a lot of drama in the independent film, no matter where you live. It doesn't make a difference where you live on that. But you have to look at it. If you want to be in a film and it doesn't pay, that's your decision to accept the role.
Yeah.
Know your role and show up and do your role. If you start seeing, I'll give, like you said, $50, gas money, whatever, lunch money, you feed them. You know what? It's not the quantity. Don't think you're doing an independent film, which is costing you money. Everything is out of your pocket and several other people's pockets. So you try to say, look, it's $50. If I could pay you more, I would. But if the movie does well, maybe talk a percentage. That's has to deal in however you want to contract. Your talent to where okay, you're going to make this movie. You're not going to get paid, but if the movie does something, you might get a little bit of kickback from it, or you could write them into a contract or get them to invest in the movie. That's the biggest thing, is to get your investor. That's what we're working on. It takes a lot to make a second movie, a sequel.
Yeah.
Not millions, but hundreds of thousands, and it goes quick. So
yeah, a lot,
Yeah, but if you find a way to pay your people and you treat them right, and as you said, when you go on set, be nice to everyone, say hi to everyone. I'd like to kid a little bit, sometimes I stay to myself. It just depends on what it is, but then I engage. If you ask me about what I do, I will tell you what I do. I just don't come running up to you and tell you all the awards I won and where I'll move. That's a slow process that people have to warm up to you. And it's like, wow. Well, and then they can ask you questions. Well, I'm interested in doing this. What would be a good way, to go about doing it? And since you experience it, you tell them. And, so that's the key, keep an open mind on the set, because if they don't like you, or you didn't like somebody, or that person bailed on you at the last minute, that word gets around. Kalen, he didn't show up, or he started to tell me how he wanted to do it. It's like, oh no. I once told I was like, you need to zip it real quick, or you're going to get booted, off the set here. So they kind of calmed down, but the damage was already done. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what kind of modeling did you do?
I mean, I honestly, I tried runway for a little bit, but honestly, it just modeling is just not me. I'm an actor. I tried modeling, but it was just too much. I don't know. It's just it was just too. It's just not me.
Zoolander.
The way they take pictures is like
duck lips, and
or the way they're shaped, that's just not me. I'm an actor. I'll play a model in a movie or whatever, but modeling itself, I mean, they make great money. Hey, I made a couple bucks, modeling for stuff, but it's not me. So I mean, I'd rather not do something that I'm comfortable doing. So I mean, it was cool while it lasted. I did it for about 5 months or something, but
it just wasn't
nothing too big. Yeah, it just wasn't there. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I don't know. First of all, I'm not even tall enough to do runway. So I mean, you got to be as a guy, you got to be 6 foot and above. And I'm only 5'10", so it's there's no point in being here.
I had to throw that in there when we were talking about. I got to stop hitting the microphone here. We were talking about that, and you gave me the Zoolander face. I'm like, we got to show that.
Yeah, no, it was I didn't I just didn't like taking those pictures. I decided one day I was like, yeah, I don't want to do modeling anymore.
You can't. It's all about looks, but when you're acting, it's more about emotion, not just.
Yeah.
I do not have a model face, and I'm 5'10". Also, let me see. I did hand modeling and foot modeling, so I guess there was something they didn't want to see in my face. I don't
Yeah.
know. Show us your hands. Show your feet.
I've done that before. I was actually a hand model in the HB commercial one time, and it was for a barbecue commercial and HB barbecue commercial. And I remember I was on set, and they're like they said we need people that have hands that look somewhat alike, because I think they were looking for a right hand and left hand, and they're like, well, y'all are. It was me and some other guy, and they're like, well, y'all's hands are kind of the same color. They kind of look the same, so they chose us, and my hand was actually an HEB commercial, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so technically I'm a hand model. Yeah, and there's some auditions too where you got to be like,
yeah, hold your hands up.
yeah.
My hands have been around. They've been acid. God, I got this new pop filter. It works, but I like the ones that the networks have, the little ones with the collar. But this will work. Yeah, I pop it. Okay, here's a question that I pose. Actor or artist?
Like, what do I consider myself as?
Yeah, what? Yeah, pick. Are you one, the other, or you are a combination of both? Some people are extreme.
I say an actor is an artist. Artist is everything, really. Artist is a filmmaker, a writer, a DP, everything, really. Me personally, whenever people ask me, what I do, I like to say artist or filmmaker. I don't really like to say actor, just because it sounds very one dimensional, So that's just me. I say artist just because it sounds cooler too, And I don't know, artist could be a painter. An artist is a person who does piano. I don't know. I mean, to me, an artist is whatever art is. You make music, you're an artist. If you're an actor, you're an artist. So yeah, I consider myself an artist.
I can't draw, so I don't consider myself an artist.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't play piano. I used to play guitar, played the clarinet, but I never considered myself an artist. When people ask me, what do you do? Or, I said, I'm in the television and film industry. And that eliminates, because I've said, I'm an actor. Well, you don't look like an actor. I said, what does an actor look like? How many films have you watched? And how many different people, body types, facial features? I said, does Danny DeVito look like an actor? Well, he was the Penguin in Batman. Okay. So, but he's an actor. He was a TV actor. Very famous. He does Subway commercials now. But so that eliminates that, you're not an actor. Okay. How long you been acting? All my life. This is my life. If you ever thought of, there's billions of people on the planet. Why do I see through only my eyes? You understand that? I'm sitting here talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
That makes us individuals. Could I have been you and you have been me? I know that's a little profound, but You know, you ever walk around, I'm seeing the world only through my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So that's kind of a weird, and that's, if you start getting into saying something profound to somebody that is maybe looking not really for conversation, but not even a discussion. Maybe they want to have an argument with you because of something. Start saying something real profound and they'll walk away.
Mm-hmm.
It works. I'm telling you. When I worked for a corporation and they started to say something and, well, and I would just say something totally profound and they would walk away because they just couldn't fathom what I was saying to them because they were just like, they were so focused. I don't know. That's crazy. So that's that wasn't a rant. I just kind of go off a little bit, get a little,
Damn, I hear you.
you just kind of walk around. Why am I sitting here looking at you?
Mm-hmm.
Think of that. That's just a weird, they go, yeah, you're weird. Yeah, well, that's just part of it. So other than working on the marathon, are you working in any other projects in the area, or this is what you're solely focusing on?
Yeah, well, obviously, my main focus is the marathon, but I am working. I'll be shooting a film. I'll be shooting 2 films within the next 2 months, actually. One that's based off a video game, and I can't, like I said, I can't say too much because I signed an NDA contract, but
Right.
I'm working on that. It's very, very great. I'll tell you, the writer and director, Keanu Cordero, great guy, great filmmaker. And yeah, that guy, he's a great artist. So I'll be working on that. It's for a military type of film, and I've always wanted to do a military type of film. I have been in one actually, but I was like a cartel member. And then I'll be working in a horror film. My first horror film. I've always wanted to be in one, so I'm excited for that. And I'm working on a pilot as well that me and my boy Ronnie Leon Pope. Yeah. So we're working on our pilot, and yeah. So I got a lot of great things on the way, and just taking it day by day. Still auditioning a lot. My agents sent me a lot of stuff, and yeah, just always trying to be on set. So if I'm not acting, I'm always just trying to help out in any way I can. Yeah.
And that's where just staying busy, working and helping people out. Hey, if you're waiting for any gigs that pay, I don't know what you'll be waiting. And, a lot of people talk, I think that's pretty cool that you went to school in LA.
That was an amazing experience. Unbelievable experience.
Yeah. I've never been, I worked in TV. That's my background. I went to school for television production and direction and film. So, that's my background is television and then photography and, videography and working for networks. Again, it's not about me, but those are the experiences that, that I had. And I'm kind of glad I was able to do that back when you were able to do it. Now the industry is all digital and now they're AIing it. And when I was doing it, it was like Fred Flintstone, think of it. And now it's the Jetsons. That's how I compare it. When I talk to people and they're like, you did that, you worked with this guy, the things weren't instant, working, everything now is on an SD card.
Yeah.
SD card right there. That's 128 or 256.
I feel like now, because everything is so high quality, the camera quality is always on point. I feel like now it's there's a lot of great quality type of filmmaking stuff, but not a lot of good stories. And I feel like right now we're kind of in a slump in cinema, which is unfortunate. You see a lot of great quality films, but not a lot of good stories, and and so that's kind of a bummer. But other than that, I truly feel, I've always said this, that the future of filmmaking is independent films. I've always said that, and you know, um, yeah,
It's
no,
starting to sway. It's starting to sway that this way to where, the Hollywood, and they're realizing, you know, people are making money. Maybe the wrong people are making money. It starts becoming a business, and it loses the artistic value and the creativity
mhm,
to where you're seeing a lot of big names are willing to work in the independent market because they are not handcuffed by the union and the union rules. Um, they could still make money, and they could actually find a better way to invest in the movie that they're making.
mhm,
So they're making money both ways. They're making money for being in the film, and then they're making money for investing in as being an investor in the film.
mhm,
So you're seeing a lot of that coming to the East Coast, to where Lionsgate moved to Georgia. They built this it was like
yep,
500,000 square foot
mhm,
facility. Tyler Perry.
yep.
Um,
Everything's
what's
coming
called,
to the South. Everything is
yeah,
coming to the South.
it's and they're dealing with tax type credits and film incentives. Alabama, Mississippi. A lot of these smaller states are offering unbelievable film incentives for you to come film there. So that's why you're seeing Atlanta. It probably, I don't know, 5 years. That's a guess, is going to be like an epicenter for making movies, and you're going to start seeing the independent film market grow more
Mhm,
because look how many independent filmmakers there are. There's yourself. There's Andrew Heller, the director of our film. People, they're all over. When you submit to a festival, you're submitting with could be up to over 4,000 other films in the same category as you.
mhm.
Um, so there's thousands upon thousands of independent films, and there's a lot of content out there to where, oh, look, I don't know, whatever new movie came out that they're pushing or something. I don't know what
Another
it is.
reboot, right?
Yeah, let's make, okay, we're making part 6 a 2-part. It's like a 2 episode of 1 part. And everybody, I think more people need to support the independent
Mhm,
filmmakers. When your film gets out and it's up for distribution, and you're on Amazon, Tubi, Hulu, Roku, Vimeo, Paramount Plus, I could just, name them. And you're up there for $2.99, and you can buy it for $9.99, and people will go, oh, look, we went to this, and how much did it? Oh, it was like $15 a piece. And these are people in that I know that are in the film type industry here in Florida. It's like
mhm.
you could have watched 5 or 6 different independent films of the people that who made these films to support them.
Uh-huh.
So, and that's what you're starting to see. The industry is going here is just the amount of content, and make these independent films. You know, when you win awards, it's like winning an Oscar.
Mhm.
But these people, you know, one film could win 6 Oscars for, you know, whatever they're doing. But, you know, when you get independent films, you know, winning multiple awards like your short film did, that's where all that support needs to come.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
And you know, and I'm talking from experience, and that's what we try to do, or that's what I try to do on the show. Again, I'm not bragging about what I do, but I can only share the experiences. And you know, do you want fame or do you want fortune? I don't want to be famous, but I want to be fortunate in my movies.
Mhm.
I could be famous and be broke.
Yeah.
And I could be broke as all get up, or I can make a fortune and be miserable. I'd rather just be fortunate. And that was a discussion that I had with a guest. He goes, "It's not about fame and fortune." And I said, "It's about being fortunate." And, you know, with somebody like you, being fortunate and getting that support and helping your projects get the recognition.
Mhm.
And I support people, but you can notice when they don't support you. And I'm not saying I like everybody's Facebook posts, but all my filmmaker friends I like too. But when you see they don't reciprocate,
Mhm.
okay, you want to post your trailer on our Facebook film page, but you won't let us post our trailer on yours?
Yeah.
What
Yeah, a lot of
is
that.
that? That don't work. That floats like a brick.
Yeah.
So the
A lot of people
key,
out there like that. A lot of people
yeah,
out there like that. Yeah.
but you know, and that's what I applaud everybody out in San Antonio,
Uh-huh.
you know, and the support that you get and the people that are backing you.
It's
That
definitely growing. It's definitely growing out here in San Antonio. I remember when I first started, it was very small, and now I see as the years go on, it's starting to grow. People are starting to collab. There's a big studio that's going to get built in San Marcos, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away. So we'll see what happens with that. Within the next couple of years, the film industry in South Texas is gonna grow a lot. It already is growing. Austin's growing. Austin's mainly commercial though. But other than that, yeah, San Antonio is growing in the film industry. So that's an amazing time. It's there's gonna come a time where everything is gonna come towards over here, and we just got to be ready, stay sharp, and when the moment happens, it's got to be ready. You know.
get your foot in like you're doing now. Build your name, and you know, share this video,
Yeah.
this interview, and I do it because when we were done promoting our project, cast and crew, now what? All right, let's promote other people.
Mm-hmm.
And as I tell people, if you want to be on the show like yourself and, you know, 4 other friends from San Antonio, and, you know, I have people from Florida, I'm working on some international stuff. It's all about promoting. If I just am getting ready to post one, I just got finished editing it. That was a little, it's not challenging, but they become time consuming
Mm-hmm.
because you want to incorporate their pictures and their videos. Like same, you know, we have your video, you know, your trailer in here, and you know, and you have some BTS stuff that you know we'll
Mm-hmm.
show at the end in the you know in the credits. But if you're working on projects and you don't want to go and promote your product when you have the opportunity, then what's the point if nobody knows about it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I tell them, you're going to have it when I get this edited, you'll have the YouTube link, you share it, you do whatever you want with it. You want to edit it up, you want to highlight it, you do whatever you want. You know, it does make a difference to me. Just make sure you have the hot seat in there.
Yeah, of course.
In there. Any last words, advice to new people getting into it? I know we kind of touched a little bit on don't bail out of a movie, but what words of wisdom, that you've experienced that, you want to give as a closing?
Really just be patient. And just keep on keeping on. I tell everybody, even if you don't, especially for the people that have like social anxiety, take an acting class. It really helps you break free. Get the get the nervousness off of you, and just really just honestly, even just taking an acting class, even if you don't want to be an actor, it really does help you out. It really helps you find who you are as a person. How would you react in this certain situation? Take an acting class, take a speech class. Because what if you do speak in front of crowds, but you're just not comfortable with it? Yeah, so that's my advice, and just especially if you are an actor, take an acting class, and really just be patient. Be patient with the process. I've been here in the acting industry for almost 10 years, and I'm barely starting to get momentum, and it's part of the process. You just gotta enjoy it. Just stay sharp and just keep on doing it. Really, don't give up. Don't give up at all, because when you give up, you never know how far you've came. And I've came a long way, and I still go through stuff all the time, get rejected all the time. So it's part of the process, and you just got to enjoy it. So
stay the course.
Exactly. That's the marathon right there. That's what I mean. That's the marathon.
Stay the course. You've been doing it 10 years. And now you finally are working for the next 5 years. You shorten that 5-year plan up right now, or 3-year plan. I want to get this movie done. I want to be here with it. You want to promote it, advertise it, share, do whatever you can. And then maybe work on another project, or, however you want to do it, something completely different. But you did mention something, and I truly believe it 100%. You have to have a story that is unique, authentic, original. It can't be a remake of the same 10 movies, just with different people, and the genre, the zombie apocalypse genre, and the slasher genre, and this and mafia movies, and people then in the independent industry wonder, how come my movie didn't do anything? Because it's the same. You can't be the same as everyone else, because there's nothing about what you did that stands out to be recognized. So your whole, being original, and I think this is a pretty interesting storyline that you have. I'd be interested in seeing it. I like that. I like watching other people's stuff.
I'll let you know when it comes out.
Oh yeah, and share, like your stuff, like, comment, share, and subscribe. That's what we do here on the hot seat. If you want to be on the hot seat, like my man Kalen, I think this was a great talk. I always talk about how I learn from other people. You know, you have to. You know, I'm not always all about myself. That's why I do the show. No,
Always learning. Always learning. You know, there's
always learning. You can never stop learning. But if you want to be on the show, if you want to sponsor the show, you have a business that wants to be on the show, you want to promote a project, just send us an email at thehotseat813@gmail.com. Just like my man here, Kalen, sent me an email. And I think it's great. You know what? It seems like the people from San Antonio that have been on my show have kicked their career up a notch. I don't know. I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but I don't know. I hope I did. Well, Kalen, thank you very much. It's been awesome. I hope to maybe run into you guys next time I'm out west. That would be great.
That'd be amazing. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Greg,
I love to.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It was an honor to be here, and yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. And as always, it's a beautiful day for an interview. Kalen, thank you for being my guest.